Good morning, dear students. Welcome to Python class. Today, we discuss some more concepts related to Python programming, that is lists. Today's contents, we have already discussed storing collections of data using lists and how to create duplicate lists we have discussed. What happens when you create duplicates? There are two ways. One is creating the content duplicate list. Another one is creating the reference to the existing list. And next, storing the elements in the list, how to create an empty list, how to access the elements, and finally, the looping over the list elements. And finally, we discuss about assignments. Let us look into the recap what we have discussed in the last class. We shall do a quick recap. Okay. We'll do a quick recap what we have done in the previous class. So last class we understood what is a list, how to create a list, how to initialize a list we discussed, and how to access the list elements using the index numbers, and how to find total number of elements in the list. That is what we discussed. And what happens when you create duplicate list? If you create like this, automatically what happens? So it creates a reference. It creates a reference like this. So in order to overcome this, what we have to do, we have to create the colors of colon we had to give, so that contents are copied into another list. And of course, you can certainly work with it. Moving further, how exactly the memory is allocated to list? This is what we have seen, and we understood each element gets its own memory, and those memories are randomly allocated based on the values. And not only that, list is nothing but collection of these addresses. That's what we have understood. And how to create an empty list? Empty list can be created using the open close square brackets, and you can also create using list open close bracket. So if the list is called an empty list, then there should not be any element in it, or its length is 0. That is what the thing is all about. And in order to count the number of elements, what you have to do, you have to certainly give len command. If you give len command, what happens? It will certainly displace the length of the list. That means how many elements are there in the list. Okay, that's what we have. Now, accessing the list elements. Moving on to the first one, lists are mutable. This is also we discussed. And lists are a collection of heterogeneous elements. What do you mean by this? That means in a list, suppose I have my list. I just call it as my list. You just see my list is equal to, I just create Satish, comma, 40, comma, 12.5, comma, I can certainly give true. You can see I'm storing all these elements into a list, my list. Look at that, my list is created. So I'm using Google Colab. Today I don't have my laptop, so it is running from Google Colab server. Okay, and it is executed. You can see it is created. So my list is created. And now, next, if you say my list of 0, that means you have to print it. Print my list of 0. So obviously we get Satish. And if I run my list of 1, so 40 is printed. Okay, it is just printing 40. So you are able to access element one by one. Is this okay? Yeah, thank you. Right, lists are mutable. Mutable in the sense you can alter. Now I have created a list. So my list. Now my list of 3, that is the third one, 0, 1, 2, 3, true I have given. I make it as false. Yes, I can change it. I can change it. I can certainly print my list. So you observe there, if I run it, it will print. See, when I initialized, it is true. And now meanwhile, I changed it to false. So that means mutable. Mutable in the sense you can alter the contents. You can alter the contents. You can alter the contents of the list. That is what mutable. And heterogeneous. Heterogeneous means various elements you can certainly include. It is not like array. Array is a collection of similar elements, but in lists you can have many elements, many different types of elements. See, Satish is a string, 40 is an integer, 12.5 is a float, and true is a boolean value. So I'm storing various values, and I'm also altering the contents. And yeah, in the chat box somebody is asking, sir, can you alter the first element? Yes, my list of 0 is yeah, I can give it, okay, Meghana. Yes, I'll just give it. So now I run. You observe the first element also you can alter. That is not a problem. And one more student is asking, sir, can I create individual variables, and can I have the collection? Yes, that is also possible. I create okay, name is equal to Chandru. Okay, and I call it as you know, your age 23, and your height is 12.5 meters, 4 meters. Okay, status false. You can certainly write. Now I will create your list, or I'll just write WhatsApp language. Your list is equal to, within the this one braces, name comma age comma height comma status. Yes, this can also be printed, and I can certainly print your list. Sorry, your list. I can certainly print. Now, as soon as I run this code, you see, sorry, you are, sorry, your list. Yeah, look at there. Okay, like this, I can change it. Okay, I can write like this. I can certainly write like this. So list, with this you can easily understand, list is a collection of data elements, individual data elements. So it is not collection of memory. It is not collection of memory. It is a collection of data elements of different types. So data elements can be integer, string, float, or boolean. Anything So you can certainly create it. So it is just like that. And further, further, uh, so what do you mean by mutable? Mutable means that you can change the content of the list without actually changing the identity. Yes. And lists are heterogeneous. It means you can store it with mixed data. Accessing the elements you can access using index numbers. And one student is again asking, sir, can we have, you know, list slicing, just like string slicing we did. Is it possible to have list slicing? Yes, you can have. Thank you for that question. Many are asking good questions. Good. So now we have already created your list and my list. I say your list of 1 colon 3. That means the first element is printed, the index number 1, 2 is printed, 3, up to 3 is not printed. 1 and 2, that is 23 and 12.4 are printed. So you can certainly use print. And as soon as I run this, so automatically it will print 23, 12.4. So it is printed. You can also print if you don't give. Automatically it takes from 0. And if you don't give, automatically it will takes up to the end. And you can also give +2 or -1. -1 is very popular, you know, colon -1. It starts from right side to left side and it starts printing. So as I run, automatically what happens? False is printed first, later 12.4, 23 and Chandru. So you can do what are all the operations that you have already taken up. The same thing you can certainly use it with string. The same thing you can use it with list also, right? And that's the thing. And you can certainly have a list of 0, list of 1 colon 5, 1 colon colon. So everything whatever you have understood during string, that is a single indexing, double indexing, triple indexing, all three can be used very clearly, right? Next, I want you to predict the output. I want everybody to type in your answer in the chat box. So Wales is equal to something I have given. Wales of 1001. What will be the answer? I want everybody to type in your answer in the chat box. Please type in your answer in the chat box. Yeah, please type in. I want to see everybody's answer. I want to see everyone's answer in the chat box. What will be the output of this? Okay. Okay, right. Okay, Sushma has given right answer. Apart from Sushma, what about others? Ramesh Sri Hegde? Yes, good. Most of you are giving the answer. Please answer in the chat box. Okay, I want to see answers of all the students, those who are taking part today, 51 plus. What will be the output of this? So this is nothing but print statement. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Chandrasekhar, your answer is correct. Pudevi, no. You wrongly guessed. Okay. See, total number of elements that we have. I'll give the answer now. Total number of elements that we have is 5, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 elements are there. So that's all. I have only 14 elements. But you are trying to access beyond 14, then definitely it will give index out of range error. Index out of range. List index out of range. Index error. So generally you will get a question. what is index error? I'll ask in the quiz, or I'll ask in the internal, what is index error? You should answer index error is nothing but error that are generated due to not available index access. Okay, due to the index that is not there in the list. So that is, and there are 14 items, and you are trying to access them beyond 14. So that is index. Yes. So index error you will get, and you should know all these terminologies. Even though they are very small, the terminologies are very, very important. Very simple terminologies. Okay. So that is the thing that you should note down. And lists are heterogeneous, I have already said. Heterogeneous means you can store multiple values, multiple different types of data. You can certainly store. Yes, you can store different types of data. You can certainly store. So I have already explained that. Now, memory representation I have already given. Okay. Now, nobles is equal to helium, none, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. So these are some of the elements, chemical noble chemical elements that we have. But what happens? I have made a small spelling mistake here. I have made it as an, instead of neon, I have written none. I have written none. So this is a small mistake. So if I want to rectify that, what I'll do, I'll say nobles of 1 is equal to neon. I'll just type neon. Look at here. I'll just type neon. Nobles of 1 is equal to neon. Neon. Instead of none, I type it as neon. So instead of none, I just type it as neon. In this case, what happens? In this case, what happens? A new memory is allocated. New memory is allocated for neon, and this whatever we have the link, whatever the link that it has, it will automatically move to the next that is cell, that is neon, Neon, neon. So for that, it will automatically store. Automatically, that means this link is just removed. That's all. This link is removed. New link is created, and you will be seeing this in data structures. You'll be seeing this in data structures. The same thing. Yes. So how to find index of a particular element in case of list is huge? Very simple, Chandru. Just check the index of the length -1. So Chandru is asking how to find index of a particular element in case the list is huge. In case the list is very huge. Very simple, Chandru. Very simple. If the list is very huge, if it is more, I think you know the last index. Last index, you can find it. The length -1 is the last index. Now, you start printing the element plus its index number. Automatically, it is done. We can write it in a simple Python program. I can show you a simple Python program. So what Chandru is asking, sir, if I have lot of elements, maybe let me take some list is equal to, I'll give 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 50 33 comma 22 comma 55 comma 75 comma something, and just imagine I'm giving, I don't know how much elements are there. Okay, I'm just creating. Okay, so just imagine I have a list. Now what I do, I just print len of some list. So easily I can easily run. So if I run this, I'll get the sum of the list. The length of sum of list is 19. I'm sorry, gap. Okay, 19 is the number of list items. Okay, now this is the now I want to print the index and index number, index number as well as value. So what I'll do, I'll create a for loop for I in range. Anyhow, you'll come to know 0, 20. Okay, the next part I'll explain. 0, 20 print I, comma, you can give um, some list some list of I can certainly print. Now observe, Chandru, if I run this code, what it is doing, it is printing 0 means 1, 1 means 2. So all the elements, so I have left not 4 gaps, I have just given only 2 gap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, now it is correct. Yeah, still it is showing error. Okay, right. So yeah, it is taking index out of range. So the 19th element, since I'm starting from I should stop at 19. Sorry, I should stop at 19. So if I run it, so automatically it is showing. Yeah, 18. That means 0 to 18. So index numbers and there. Okay. So it is just like that. And other way is you have a function called index of that particular element. It will certainly give. So this is one way to print all the index. Suppose I want to know what is the index number of 75. So print index, sorry, some list dot index, some list of index 75. Just give 75. Okay, so 75, if I just give it, what happens if I run this code? You can see 7 is the index number. Yeah, 75's index is 7. So index of a particular element, you will get it, okay, like this. You can get dot index, list dot index. Anyhow, I'll explain this just like I have explained some of the methods that are associated with strings. The same way, there are some methods associated with list also. Okay, this is one. So it will give the index of a particular element. If you want to see index of all the elements, you can display like this. So these two lines are displaying index of all the elements. This is particularly one element. Suppose I want to 103. I want to see index of 103. So it will display 103 is this one is index is 18. It's just like that. Same way, you can suppose if there is any repetition. Take for example 75. I'll write it here also. 75 here also. Here also I write 75. Okay. So sorry. 75 is available in the first place, that is in the 7th position, as well as in some other place. So what it will print? It will print the first index. It will print the first index where it is found. See, it is found in 7th position. So it is not printing the 14th position because it is the second occurrence. So index method will display the element, display the element uh, for the first occurrence, index of the first element, first occurrence of the element. Okay. Now, let us see. I have assigned neon. So what happens? New neon is created. New cell is created. Neon is created. You can see. And this link is removed and a new link is created. So earlier we had ID2 in index number 1 position. Now ID8 is there. You can see ID8 is there in index number 1 position, and automatically this data is taken out. So your computer will certainly uh, you know send this memory block for garbage collection. So now if you print, now it will, now if you print, so what happens? It will print. Yeah. Right. Now looping over the list elements, just like for loop we can create with the strings also. So string is a sequence of characters, just like list is also sequence of elements. So since it is a sequence of elements, you can certainly have a loop. So you write the variable, iterating variable in the sequence. It may be a string, it may be a list, and this variable will get the first element for the first loop, second element for the second loop, third element for the third loop, fourth element for the fourth loop, till until the last. So it is the same thing. So and it creates a block. It creates a block. Block means, you know, you have to leave 4 space indent space, and you have to write. And if you write what are all the statements inside that indentation, so automatically it will be inside the loop. If you write outside the indent, automatically it is outside the loop. So that is what you have to understand. So flowchart, yes. Yeah, until you have the elements in the sequence, it keeps on executing the loop. Once the elements are over, if there are no elements in the list or a sequence, then it will come out. So observe here for and in statement, you write for and in statement. So in the example that I have shown here, what is that happening? I'm writing a range and all those things. Instead of that, I can directly write for in some list. I can certainly write some list. So I will get the element directly. I can display. I will point to the first element. I will point to the second element. I will point to the third element. It's just like that. So I comment all these things. I don't want all these things. Okay. Sorry, it is hash. Yeah, it is hash. Yes. So when I run this, I get all the elements. You can see all the elements that are I have got the same way, and I can certainly print. Okay, some list dot index of I, like this, index of I, comma, certainly I can write like this also. But if the element is repeated, then it will print, I'm sorry, somewhere, some list, L capital, yes. Yes. So it is printing. So 7th position, it is printing 75. And if the element, if it is printed again, it is again printing. Okay, 75. So like this, it will print, it will, loop for all the elements. Instead of this, if I write something like, I write Satish. So first element will be S, next element will be A, T, I, S, H. So it will be printed. You can see, you can, I'm sorry. Yeah, index. Yeah, index will not work for Sati string. Okay, it will not work for string. Okay, look at here straight away. SATISH. You can see individual elements. If I don't want, I want to print it one next to each other. You can write end is equal to empty. So if you just write, it will print as it is Satish. If you give space, if you give hyphen after printing one character at the end, so it will print s dot a dot a hyphen t hyphen I hyphen sh, like this. It will print. So this is one way of looping. So here I'm using in. Here I'm using in. So in is also used. We have seen in operator to check whether it is membership element item or not. Here it is also checking. Okay, so that's about the for loop. So before we wind up the class, I would like to give one assignment. Okay, range function tomorrow I'll explain. I'll give the assignment. Please note down the assignment and kindly type in your USN in the chat box. That's all for today's class. Stay safe. Thank you. All the class recordings are available in this particular website. Have a wonderful day.